Good morning, everybody. Well, we've gotten a response from the BBC. I've put a complaint in against this Rory Cleland Jones, who a reporter, obviously just an actor. He's supposed to be a technology expert. He's the guy who likes to test out for your headsets. Unfortunately, he didn't take my advice, and unfortunately, he's a very, very sick person now. But that's just, that's up to him. If he's stupid enough, foolish enough, or so much of an actor, he doesn't understand the dangers of virtual reality headsets, well, that's for him. However, if I was him, I'd be putting a claim in against the BBC because they haven't risk assessed any of that equipment that he's tested, and I can actually prove without a shadow of a doubt that those pieces of equipment are dangerous. So anyway, let's just move on. This is an image I've been sent this morning of a light that's on in Shrewsbury, in Tenbury. It's outside a school. It's on 24/7. That's radar on the top of it, by the way. Now, anybody tells me that's a light sensor, give yourself a bit of a shake. The LED there is a 450 nanometers frequency. It will kill insects and pollinators. So, something going on very, very strange, isn't it? But, the reason I'm going to do this is more about the agricultural issues that we have in farmers, where we've got an article here about the beware hidden dangers of masts. This was in the agricultural papers. You see that there, agricultural trader, and basically beware hidden dangers of masts, right, for landowners, right, or being warned of the hidden and risk responsibilities associated with having a telecommunication mast on their land. Now, what's actually happened? Your government, for some inexplicable reason, have decided that the polluter, the telecommunications company, is not responsible for the dangerous microwave radiation emitted from their masts, but the landowner who foolishly puts this on is. Now, there's a far bigger story to tell here. I'm just going to open up this wildlife file I have. I've got a wildlife file here, so people will see it. Can you see that? You can see the wildlife file. Give us a second. This is just some of the weapons hardware, but let's just get to the wildlife file. So this is the wildlife file. I'm going to open this up. Now you'll see in this file there are a number of scientific published documents, right, all about the potential dangers to wildlife, migratory birds, bees, etc. Let's have a look at the honeybee document. I'm going to open this one up first and foremost. This was quite an in-depth study, and you see what it says there. Just a second so people can see it, right. Destroying nature by electrosmog. So this is quite interesting. So farmers putting this type of technology on their land unknowingly are destroying the pollinators. All right. There's lots of science out there, reports on insects dying, etc. Well, microwave radiation unfortunately affects pollinators significantly more, migratory birds. But here's a really one that the farmers need to look at. All right, this is 900 megahertz. This is the sub-gigahertz that they're using for 5G, by the way. All right, and it stresses earthworms. Now, can you imagine the damage that would do to your land? So, if the production levels go down on your land, if this equipment sterilizes your cattle, then consequently what's going to happen? The productivity of your land is going to collapse. Now, the productivity of land is linked directly with the value of the land. So obviously, if you have any debt, in the property of the land value starts to collapse because of its inability to produce, which that's what this is looking like, right? Especially with it killing off all of these insects. Microwave radiation insect exterminate. I like this patent. This is quite an interesting one. So, microwave radiation is used to kill insects. And obviously insects, as we know, Insects, as we know, and pollinators, you need to pollinate your crops. So if your crops fail, because you've got a lot of these transmitters which are uninsurable, which the government, like I said, have decided that you, the farmer, will be liable, all right? You will be liable for this, all right? So this document, now we know that there's been a number of farmers basically bullied by telecommunications companies. The telecommunications companies are being bullied by the government. All right, there's a lot of bullying going on. It's bird and bee issues. You know, I mean, we've got them. You know, we've got birds sitting on transmitters here. I'm just going to show you. This is an environmental crime, by the way. That's a 25 milliwatt transmitter. Now, obviously, farmers aren't that keen on pigeons. This will kill them. So there won't be much rough shooting getting done. But not only does it kill the pigeons, it'll also kill any of the other crops. So people who, you know, have shooting estates, all at risk from these transmitters. Birds on transmitters, you know, we've got lots of evidence of this right across the country. And these transmitters, like I said, are absolutely lethal. The damage, the way that birds can actually get around. Here's an interesting document. We'll just increase the size there so you can see that. Weak broadband electromagnetic fields are more disruptive magnetic compass oriented. So songbirds, we've got this. The epidemiological data is damning. We only have to look at Bristol. Bristol was a 5G test bed. They have called it an ecological emergency because they've actually seen a total collapse. Not surprising at all because of this mass densification, which is 5G, of transmitters fitted to street furniture. Here's a really interesting image I want people to have a look at. This transmitter, this actual transmitter, you see that on the top, that's got a 3,300 watt switching piece of equipment. Now, those LEDs that are there are illegal. They're a 450 nanometers frequency. You can see there's no diffuser on this light head. There's no diffuser, but that transmitter on the top will kill anything that gets within the near field. All right. So this is an attack on pollinators, on insects. Now, they're rushing this technology out as fast as possible. So obviously we'll see things like this, you know, where it's just basically smashed off because the winds blew it off. Because they're rushing the technology as quickly as possible so that it can do as much harm as possible before people realise what's really going on. All right, this damages, you know, we've got disturbing honeybees at very, very low levels. We're talking about, you know, 30 millivolts, you'll stress bees. If you stress them, they'll move away from your land. So anybody putting these transmitters up on your land, you're going to lose your farm. And that's the plan. You see, the banks, anybody that owns any, if you've got any debt on your land, your production's going to collapse. And consequently, then you're not going to be able to pay the interest rates, your valuation on your land, and then you're in breach of your debenture. So once the land price devalues, you breach your debenture, you're not making any money. You're not making a great deal of money at the moment. This is all part of a plan. So I'm doing this video specifically to reach out to the farming community. The farming community, you are being forced. Your government have got a plan to put 400,000 of these transmitters near your farm or in your farmland because they've decided that you don't know how to drive a tractor. Well, that's absolutely ridiculous. What they've basically said is that you need automated milking parlours. Obviously, that radiation will sterilise your cattle. It'll damage them neurologically, so they won't milk. You know, if cattle get stressed, dairy cattle in particular, can be put off milking very, very easily. Any farmer can tell you. So consequently, that's what you're going to start to see. So this is absolutely unbelievable. I'm just going to go to a PowerPoint talk, which I gave the other day, because what you need to do, you need to see, You actually need to see the evidence of what your government's planning, right? Because they're forcing over 400,000 of these small transmitter systems out on top of the people. And that's going to take a little bit of time to open up. So while it opens up, let's just get concerned about this piece of equipment, because 5G, believe it or not, is not supposed to be near any Ministry of Defence facility. And I'm telling you now, that's 5G, that's radar, it's urban radar. So it's scanning at the MOD facility for whoever, because you only have to be able to hack into that system. But let's just scroll through these. Let's just scroll through these files. There's obviously this is the talk that I give in relation to this, and this is the talk that they don't want people. There's the blue light retinal cell stresses. That's it, where it shows that the 450 nanometers kills these flying insects. We are up against it here. That's where the council tried to take me to court to try and gag me. But what I want to show you, the bit I'm really interested in, is these are horrendous. Oh yes, there's some of the transmitters there. There's lots of different types. That's how it causes the radar in its near locality. Let's just, and your local council climate emergency. Well, no, there's a climate emergency. They're increasing the temperature significantly with their absolute garbage technology. There you go. New science, 400,000 extra phone masts needed to bring 5G network to rural Britain. That is to farms. This is the technology here on the right-hand side. You can see it's radar. Their radar, their beamforming technologies, that's what 5G is. So it's beamforming technologies in the sub-gigahertz range, very, very long range, and it will most certainly destroy the value of your land. That will put you in serious economic straits. So consequently, it's up to young farmers, because you are the future of the farming community. You may not know this yet, but this is the significant risks that you have to the value of your farm, the production of the farm. This is no joke. We're not making this up. The science is settled. So I think that's enough for today. So I've got a call coming in now, so we'll leave that, and let's just hope that farmers see this.